Kenneth Okonkwo, a former spokesman for the Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council, recently announced his departure from the party. Okonkwo also parted ways with the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in 2023, Mr. Peter Obi. In a statement titled Political Journey to a Great Nigeria, which he shared on his social media platforms, Okonkwo cited disappointment with the party. He said the crisis in its fold and the failure of Mr. Obi to address it is problematic. Okonkwo expressed his commitment to a Nigeria built on equity, justice, and fairness. He concluded that the Labour Party and other political parties in the country do not have what it takes to lead Nigeria to greatness. Well, the man in the eye of the storm joins me now in the studio. Kenneth Okonkwo is a politician and former Labour Party member. Mr. Okonkwo, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, and thank you, viewers at home, for joining us.
Right. You dumped the Labour Party a few days ago. Let us know, what's your current state of mind? How do you feel after your exit?
First of all, let me say that I am embarrassed by your comments. I'm just hearing it from your media station that I dumped Labour Party.
Okay.
And I put up the statement I made so that I would not be misconstrued. Where did you get that from?
So
it is certainly not from the statement that I made.
So you have not left the Labour Party?
I am a full-fledged member of Labour Party. Where did you get it from?
Okay, so you are still a member of the Labour Party?
Absolutely.
There's no crisis within the Labour Party as it relates to you?
Me?
Yes.
None. There is crisis in Labour Party as relates to the NWC, which failed to organize an all-inclusive convention. And I felt that the leader ought to have taken a decisive decision to ensure, having said that the convention should not hold, and they held it against his instructions, I felt he would have come down.
Against whose instructions?
Peter Obi's instruction.
Right.
He publicly declared the convention should not hold. Abure, you have to organize an all-inclusive convention in line with the agreement you made in the past and in agreement with the judgment of a court. Abure failed. And then Peter Obi would have gone further to ensure that he decisively dealt with the Abure issue, having disobeyed him. And then he didn't. And that was why the crisis continued to fester. What I said in my statement is that I'm a Labour Party member and I'm going to stay to consolidate Labour Party. And I am going to join all the stakeholders that are progressive in mind with the NLC and the Nigerian and the National Transition Committee, which was set up in order to organize the all-inclusive National Convention. This is what I said in my statement. So where did you get that from?
So what's the current state of the Labour Party?
The current state of the Labour Party is that there is no National Working Committee. The National Executive Committee and all the organs of the party, especially the critical stakeholder, which is NLC, because Labour Party is the party for the Nigerian workers. They founded Labour Party. Yes. So the current situation now is that Labour Party is moving on to organize an all-inclusive convention, which will be led by the stakeholders and the NEC-appointed officers of the party who will organize it.
Okay, so in the media a couple of days ago,
yes,
specifically on the 28th of July, there were stories that you left the party. So you're telling us here now again that you're still a full-fledged member of the party.
I am telling you that it's fake news.
Right.
Because and you see, that is the whole idea of my uploading my statement on the social media. That was why I'm asking you, where did you get it from? Because the whole idea of uploading it is so that everybody can read it. Is it true that when you want to hide anything from a Nigerian, you put it in a book? No. Arise should have done better.
So, yes.
I heard it in Arise News.
No.
Yes, I heard it in Arise News, and I was embarrassed.
Right.
So Arise News can do well by retracting that statement.
So your statement is on the web everywhere.
Everywhere.
And so the news story precedes the statement here, and that's where the information comes from. So you're clarifying again that you're going to work with the Labour Party
to consolidate it.
Okay. So what is the issue with Mr. Peter Obi? Because Mr. Peter Obi also stated the other day, there were accusations when the story went out that, or some people described you as a mole in the party. And Mr. Peter Obi came out with a statement saying that no one, or requesting that no one should see you in that light because both of you are still comrades and brothers. How do you react to that?
Good. Well, I read the mole story by one Abure. We'll call him Abure the dullard because he is purporting to be the publicity secretary. And have you seen him being interviewed going to represent Labour Party? Even when the Apapa group was assaulting Labour Party, the same Abure and Abure was sending me to fight on their behalf. And the same Abure, the dullard, had the effrontery to go to social media to say Kenneth Okonkwo is a mole. I don't blame him with his bad English. We are the bonkies. I remember one event, when we were in the presidential Lego team. That Abure with his monkey suit, he will come and sit where Peter Obi is sitting. And after the event, they will ask him, well, what minute did you take? Only to discover that he couldn't even take the minutes. And I remember Peter Obi warned that I don't want to see this kind of people around me. So can you imagine such a person who cannot even defend the Labour Party, calling Kenneth Okonkwo a mole? Now, that is ridiculous. But if you want me to say what I said, maybe you're looking for, I did say that I and Peter Obi, we have different approaches, just like he said, different styles of doing things. Our temperaments are different. Now, Peter Obi is a very sweet man, and he loves to appear sweet to everybody. And I've always warned my younger ones, do not be too bitter so that they will not spew you out. But don't be too sweet so that they don't lick you up. So when Peter Obi, who wants to be sweet to everybody, that is why they are licking him up. I don't have that kind of temperament. Peter Obi's temperament is, my brother Ken, if he na-ekwube eziokwu mana, my brother Ken, what you're saying is true, but let us take it easy. But Kenneth Okonkwo's temperament is kami ifelege modogu ifikeme.
So do you still see...
So you see, there is a difference in temperament.
Right. Okay. With that, because you're apparently disappointed with the party, the way things are going. So do you still see Mr. Peter Obi as the leader of the party? Well, this is not a parliamentary system. This is a presidential system. So the party has, a leadership.
Yes.
But do you still see him as having the capabilities to help the party build the momentum it had last year up onto 2027? So I want to understand where you are, because
that's my concern. That is what I would have loved him to do. I would have loved the obedience, for instance, to be integrated into the party in order to solidify it. But he doesn't believe in that. He said obedience are not members of Labour Party. Now, I would have loved, because in Nigeria, and in 2027, you're going to face an incumbent. You need a broad-based, powerful political party so that even when you win, you'll be able to sustain your votes. I give you an example. When APC saw the majesty of PDP and saw that even as PDP is dysfunctional and bad, they knew that they needed a very powerful platform to win. 5 entities had to come together sacrificially. And I'm talking about the new PDP, AMPP, ACN, half faction of Abure, and CPC. They had to come together sacrificially to form a powerful alliance in order to overthrow an incumbent. Because in Nigeria, make no mistake about it, these people will rig election. And so it is not just about winning, but you have to secure your votes.
Right.
So my belief is that you have to build a strong political party. But he said in his own belief that he did not promise Nigerians to build a strong political party. He promised Nigerians to solve Nigerian problems. So I'm like, you cannot go to solving Nigerian problems without building a solid political party.
What if members of the obedient movement would like to join the Labour Party in order to build this foundational strong party that you're talking about?
Absolutely.
So are you saying...
That's what I'm saying. That is what should be done. That you cannot leave obedience to be amorphous. So
is Mr. Obi giving obedience a direction that they must not join the party?
No, his instruction is that obedient movement is not a political party, and they are not all members of Labour Party. And my own advice is that when we finished election, let us integrate everybody to come into and solidify Labour Party so that we will be a formidable force.
So with this internal crisis, this discord, this disagreement, you have, your parting ways in terms of, the way forward with Mr. Peter Obi. Why are you still in Labour Party? Because it doesn't seem like you'll be able to get this together. Why are you still there? Will you be able to get what you want?
First and foremost, I do not have any personal grievance or problem with my brother. I love him and I cherish him. You know what? I have never disagreed with him on anything personal. You know why? I have never made any personal request from him. And you know what? Since I was born, I have never lobbied for any political post. And I have never asked for any political money. When I was in APC, I was sponsoring APC. I was giving them money. I never asked for any political position. When I was in APC, I got a secretariat for them, for my ward. I got a secretariat for them, for my local government. And I was sponsoring it throughout my career in APC. So when some dimwits begin to say, is he going back to APC because of money? No, I give money. I don't take money. Because my God say, you are more blessed when you give than when you receive. Because my entrance into politics is for the welfare of Nigerians, I spend for political parties and I demand nothing from them. The same thing happened in PDP when I was in PDP. So it is ridiculous for somebody to say that I want to go back to APC. Go back to APC to look for who? My brother, area father, said both of them are Sniper and Otapiapia. And I agree. How can you talk about a party that has inflicted and afflicted Nigeria with so much trouble, and somebody is contemplating on going back to APC to look for who?
Right. So is the Labour Party finished as it is today?
Labour Party is just beginning.
Okay.
It will be consolidated. It will. You know what? Labour Party is the party of the Nigerian workers. The NLC-TUC. You think you can defeat them in their party?
So how is that going to happen? It looks like they're ready to fight. Okay.
No, Peter Obi is not. He is an aspirant for political office. It has nothing to do with the political party. Now, if he says he does not believe in strong political party, it is now left for the officers of the party to work hard to consolidate the party. Then by 2027, if he wants to use the party as platform, he can come in as an aspirant and contest for the presidential candidate. And he wins, he wins.
But you know that without the obedient movement,
yes,
and other young Nigerians who were looking for a platform, you know, to use in the 2023 election.
Yes.
The Labour Party was literally dead. So if the Obedient Movement decides to leave the Labour Party, what is left? The momentum is gone.
Well, first and foremost, I want to agree with you that my stand is that all of us should pull together and build a strong party. The Obedience should move into Labour Party, fortify it. Then we should look for alliances also from other people that have the same objective with us and consolidate it. That's why I use the word consolidated, so that we will have a consolidated fortune. That is the only way you can win elections in Nigeria.
There was a time there were discussions about merger. Where are we on that?
If you have a strong political base, there's nothing wrong in merging.
So there's no merger going on today with the Labour Party, that there are no talks anymore?
No, talks, it has democracy. You know, talks will continue. But who want to talk with you when they don't know who your leadership is? That is why we have to decisively and quickly organize ourselves in Labour Party so that our executives will be known. Look at the disgrace that INEC just threw away Abure the other time, because they insulted INEC. Do you know what it means? INEC, with its paraphernalia, as busy as INEC is, within 1 month or thereabout, you change your venue more than 3 times, denying them of the notice from Umahia to Edo to, is it Asaba, to Oka, then to Newi backyard. And you're saying you conducted. It has an insult to INEC. So when Abure went to the INEC, when distinguished party members are meeting, he wanted to get crashed there. They didn't invite him. They threw him out. So is that the kind of disgrace that we want to, contain? And I wanted and expected my principal Bitobi to have taken that action so that we won't be subjected to that ridicule and that disgrace. And it was not happening. And so I believe that he's not as decisive as a man who wants to fight these kleptomaniacs. You know what Senator Lindume said? They are kakistocrats and kleptocrats. So we are being governed by the APC chief whip. Who knows better than myself? So we are governed by the worst set of men who are compulsive thieves. That is what kakistocracy and kleptocracy means. So if you want to fight these people, you don't have to be too sweet. They will lick you up. I am looking for a Faye of Senegal. I am looking for an MKO, because they will steal your mandate. And you have to fight for your mandate. If these people have the zeal, people who steal mandate, if they have this zeal to fight for it, to grab it at all costs, to snatch it and run away with it, you that have the victory that people worked for, you must have equal and superior zeal to snatch your mandate at all costs, to grab it, to fight for it, and to run away with it. It is your victory. And people who voted for you, you have to fight. If you don't want to fight, step down. You know what I want? Tinubu, Atiku, Pitobi, they should step aside. We need new people who will take over this mantle. If you don't want to fight these thieves, then you step aside. Time for calm down. It's over.
So when you look at the political landscape and what is going on, do you see 2027 is by the corner?
That is exactly why I'm crying.
Time flies.
And screaming.
Do you see anybody, you can calm down, you don't need to scream. Do you see anybody, whether it's within the Labour Party or outside the Labour Party, that can help young people and the movement get to where they're going to, or their destination?
Good.
Have you seen?
That is why,
because
in my own opinion, if we create the impression that there is no vacancy, we will never see. But when we create the impression that, look, Labour Party is for every Nigerian, leadership evolves, then such people can start evolving. And then we will see and choose the person who will win, and not only win, fight these thieves and fight them very well. Martin Luther King. Because why I said I don't want to speak anymore, I saw some people saying, I am trying to push Obi to violence. Far from it. Martin Luther King got what he wanted, even after death. Was he violent? I'm talking about resistance. I'm talking about protest. And I am knowledgeable enough to know that there is a difference between resistance and rioting, protest and violence. I support resistance. I support protest. I do not support violence. I do not support rioting. Let me tell you, when I was in the university, because we protested from the first year to the final year. That is why in my final year, in University of Nigeria, we graduated by November. Because of protest, we ought to have graduated by June. And we went to NYSC by the second batch, the whole University of Nigeria. When we were rioting before, when we riot, we destroy our properties. We discovered that when we destroy our properties, the government will not come to build it. So we now said, enough is enough. Nobody should destroy our properties because we will be destroying our own welfare. We now made up our mind. No more destruction of properties. So I am appealing to Nigerians that protest is good, but when you destroy your properties, it is going to affect your welfare. During the NSAS process, I felt so bad when all those buses were burnt because it is still the common man that is going to, so they should do a targeted thing. You know why? If there is going to be pain, let the pain go round. Resistance means find a way of inflicting pain on your opponents. And I give you an example. When Martin Luther King was alive, when the blacks were subjected to the humiliation that no matter how small a white man is, a black person must stand up for the white man. You know what Martin Luther did? They boycotted all the transportation system and decided to trek to office. And you know what? After a while, the whole transportation system collapsed. The pain has to go round. We must have to find a way to make sure without violence that we inflict pain on the people that are inflicting pains on us. It just needs creativity. So that is my temperament. That is not the temperament of my boss. And that's why I say, I will not speak for him anymore. So that people do not misinterpret me, that I'm pushing him to do what is not in his nature. If his nature is calm down, then my nature is, like I said, when a man comes to your house and defecates in your house, what you do is to take a club and break his head. You know why? It is not because he did not see bushes to defecate. It is because he wants to defile you. That I can do what I want in front of your place and you can do nothing.
So you said that votes are stolen. I mean, the Labour Party had won 11 states during the last election and got over 6 million votes,
and
right?
FCT.
And so you said that votes are usually stolen and that the judiciary will not and cannot give Nigerians democracy. And so they should fight for it. You just said that again.
Yes.
But when you said they should fight for it, it's still the same process. They go out and vote. And if there are issues, the judiciary still has to adjudicate on those issues. So, I mean,
that is exactly what I'm saying.
There's no way out. Is there a way out here?
Good. That's why I said that, in my own opinion, respectfully, that Obi does not have what it takes to go through another route. Because that route can never achieve result. Electoral jurisprudence in Nigeria is overthrown. It is dead. We are graduating from frying pan to fire. Look at what happened in Kogi. From what happened in 2023 presidential election, I told people that the judiciary has just destroyed this Electoral Act 2022. When they made that statement, that it is discretionary for INEC to electronically transmit, that was what destroyed the Electoral Act 2022. And then politicians can now pre-write results. That's what they call pre-fill results. And then they will go and announce it. And there's nothing you can do. It happened in Kogi. It happened in Imo. So, and the courts will still say, yes, you cannot prove it. So, electoral jurisprudence having died, there is only one option: resistance and protest. So, whoever is protesting in Nigeria, let your first demand should be free, fair, credible, and verifiable election. Do you think that Biden would have stepped down as an incumbent in US if they didn't have free and fair election? When a Paul Biya, who farts when he is talking as an old man, and who is no longer reasoning is still winning election. What a tragedy.
So you once called the Labour Party a secret society led by a group of clowns.
Yes.
Why do you want to remain in the midst of so-called clowns?
Because those clowns are removable. Abure and his cohorts. So
how are you going to do that? That's a process.
The NWC has expired. So it is dead. It is gone. If I have the leader that is decisive, like I said, one statement from Abure would have just done it. Abure, your regime is over. I told you not to organize this convention. Stakeholders of Labour Party, please move in and do the needful. That's all. He had that kind of followership. But he said that is not the way he does things. And I'm saying, Oga, this, if you allow it to fester, we'll get anarchy. I'll tell you something. Jurisprudentially, the essence and philosophy behind punishment is not that anybody is deriving any joy in inflicting injury on somebody, but for deterrence. So law without sword is mere words. So if you want to evoke the law, you must invoke the sword so that somebody will be deterred from not doing it. It's not happening in Labour Party under my principle. And I respect him. That's his principle. For me, that's not my principle. I am not, I'm a very cool guy, give it to me. But my sweetness has a but. Because I don't want anybody to lick me up. So I have that bitterness in that sweetness that will make you to think twice when you want to lick me up. So we have different, temperaments. And I wouldn't want anybody to say I'm pushing him to do what he doesn't want to do. Because for me now, calm down will never bring solution to any problem in election in Nigeria.
You seem to be in a bit of a tight place because if Mr. Obi decides in 2027, I don't know, that he wants to still run on the platform of the Labour Party. That is, we don't know what the party is going to be in 2027.
Welcome. I don't know.
So I don't know. Tomorrow. What lessons are you learning? Other lessons are you learning from this entire experience?
What the lesson I'm learning is that one, the days of calm down is over. If you cannot fight these people to the level that you have to put your life on the line, then you have to step aside.
Are you ready to put your own life on the line?
When I was challenging a ruling party, saying all those things I was saying during election, was I in any doubt that I was not putting my life on the line? You know what it means? The ruling party knows where you are at any point in time. So I have already put my life on the line.
And you are going to continue to do that?
The welfare and security of Nigerians for me is completely an irreducible minimum for me. So I don't even think about that, because for me, it's irresponsible to fear the inevitable. Everybody must die. So why should I fear an inevitability?
You have said that
Nigeria will work in my generation.
Okay.
Take it from me. You
have said you want to see a fire in Nigeria. How far away
to see what?
A fire? It's similar to the president of Senegal. You would want to see,
yes, a fire, yes. Absolutely. No,
so
I'm like making an analogy. Because that young man.
How far away do you think we are from that?
It can happen tomorrow. It can happen today.
In this circumstance?
Miracle happens in a twinkle of an eye. I'm a believer of miracle. It can happen. That's it. You just need like a fire. And that's all. Do you know that young man which stood the ruling party, do you know that the president has already cancelled election in that country? That young man insisted, I want to contest. They took him to jail. He insisted. The people stood up. And when the courts, watch what is happening in the street. When the courts of Senegal saw what was happening in the street, they gave judgment against the president, who has already suspended the election. He was compelled to organize election. And the young man was declared a winner. 10 days from jail. Nigerians can do better than that.
So with this protest that is going to happen in a couple of days, today is the 30th, right, in 2 days, do you think that would lead us to a change Nigeria? What are you seeing? What are you hearing?
You know,
because you are in the streets and you are with the people.
Yes. It's a protest against hunger, which is constitutionally protected by the combined effects of Section 39, 40, and 41 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. Freedom of expression. You're entitled to it without interference. Freedom of association with others. You're entitled to it without interference. Freedom of movement. So now, when you aggregate all this freedom, people are protesting because of an existential threat. Hunger goes to the roots of the life of a human being. They can't find food to eat. They can't find transport to go to work. They can't find security to go to farm. And we have a government whose duty ought to be the security and welfare of the people. So it's a protest for the fundamental existence of human beings. Hunger. And so there is no way that protest does not change the society. It has already started changing the society. They were talking about minimum wage. They signed it. The protest is part of it. Everything they thought they can do, they are even bringing baggages and rebaggages and rebadged, and so protest is a metamorphosis. It is the antithesis to the thesis which will bring synthesis. So protest is a resistance against a social order that's not working for the people. So it is going to bring a change, even if it did not happen again.
Right. Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo, who was reported that he was a member of Labour Party, a former member has dumped it, is still a member of the party. He has clarified that he is a bona fide card-carrying member of the Labour Party. Mr. Okonkwo, thank you for coming on Arise Prime Time.
I appreciate it.